back to my YouTube channel if this is not your first time, and welcome if it's your first time. So good to have you here. And I will be starting off with this tutorial on how to cut a pencil skirt. After making the tutorial on how to cut the skirt, I realized it's not beginner friendly. I mean, if you are already a tailor and you just want to see a different method. Okay, so let's head over to the video and learn. So we're starting off with this, with the lining. I'll be cutting on the lining. I usually cut on the lining. So it's a long skirt, a long straight skirt, and this lining is 43 inches. I don't know, my camera is not getting to the end, but it's 43 inches, so it's long. So this is 43 inches including the allowance. So the length of the skirt is 40, and then 2 inches for allowance. Then I added an additional 1 inch so I can cut off the, because I'll take out this edge of the lining. So I'll use 1 inch to take that out, and I'll be left with 42 inches. Although it's going to have a band of about 2 inches, so I'll still reduce this length, but I just like to work with excess length of 2 inches to avoid shortage when you're done sewing. So let's begin. Let me just move this in. So the first thing to do is you get your measurements. I'll put the measurement I'll be working with maybe on the screen or before I start this tutorial. So the first thing, you get your waist, you get your hip line. The thigh line is not really necessary, but for the purpose of this video I'll just do that. So let me just go ahead and draw the lines. I'll draw the hip line, the thigh or knee line, and then the full length. So obviously this is the waist. The next line is the hip line. I'm working with 9 inches. So I'll just mark that all through. Then from her hip to her thigh is 18 inches. So you just measure your customer, you know, according to your body measurements, then you apply it here. So I'll just rule that. So I'll just label accordingly so you don't get confused. This is the hip line, thigh. Okay, so now we remember it's a long skirt, so I'm sorry the camera is not getting the end. Okay, I'm working with a waist of 32 inches. So we have, this is 32 inches right here. Then you add your 1 inch for that, for the skirt that, then 1.5 for the allowance. So this I'll use half to sew, and then remaining 1 is the allowance that will be on the skirt. Then the next is the hip. I'm working with a hip of 43 inches. This is 43, this is 40, 41, 42, so this is 43. This is 43 right here. Then I have an allowance of 2. So I forgot to mention that off camera I had already cut the shape of the lining. How I did that was so I don't waste the fabric, and so it's easy for me to do this tutorial, so the video won't be so long. So I just determined her, is that the word? I just marked the hip and then I added 2 inches, so that gave me 13. So I knew I was working with a fabric width of 13, so I just cut 13 here and all through. So that was what I did off camera. So now let's go on. So we've marked the hip measurements and allowance, so let's move to the tie. So it depends on how your customer wants the fitting of the skirt. Some people like their pencil skirts really fitted, you know, and should I say tight? Some like it comfortable. They don't want it looking, they want to be able to walk, you know. But some customers, you'll still be able to work with them. They like to have this, you know, how the nice slim shape of a pencil skirt usually is. So if they want it really fitted, then you minus 6. Minus 7 is just too much, so minus 6. Usually you minus 6. And if you want it normal, very comfortable, free, you minus 4 or 5. So in this case, I'll be minusing 6 based on the customer's preference. So I'll be minusing 6 from the hip. So it's from the hip measurement. I'll take out the 6. So the hip measurement is 43. So 43 minus 6 is 37. So I'll go ahead and mark 37 here. This is 37. Then I'll put my allowance 2 inches. Then let me just take this so you see the full length of, remember this is my tie. So I've marked the tie, that's minus 6 from the hip measurement, gave me this, that's 7. Then my 2 inches allowance. So whatever I get here, this is 11.25. Whatever I get here, I'll minus 2, and that's what will give me the end of the skirt. So that's 37 minus 2 is 35. So I do 35 here. Just my 2 inches allowance. That's complete. So this is my 2 inches allowance back. Oh, sorry, I forgot I was going to take out 1 inch from this to remove this edge. So I'm going to take out the 1 inch. So I'll take up the measure. So that's 37 minus 2, 35. So I'll put my 35 here and add my allowance of 2 inches. So I'll connect all the lines. Connect this to this, this to this, and that to the hemline. So next thing I'll be doing, from the waistline, the center front, I'll go down by 1 inch and connect it back to the edge of the waist, and this helps to remove any excess, you know, fabric at the tummy area, and helps your skirts just sit nicely. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Then with my curved roller, I just connect it back to there you have it. Then I mark my dots. Then I mark my dots. I'm using the dot of 4 inches because her nipple to nipple span is 8, sorry. So I'm using 4 inches. Then the length of the dots, using 5 inches. I'll take out half inch on both sides of the darts, then connect these lines together. So let me just make sure this is also 4 inches. So there you have it. This is the front piece of the pencil skirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all through here, all the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention, usually when you do this, when you go down by 1 inch by the front waist, it expands the waist measurement, so you have to retake your waist measurement just in case. So I will do that now. So I'm going to skip this dart since it's going to be folded, so I'm going to skip this part. I'll start my tape from here. So this is 3.5. Then I will skip this, so this 3.5 mark, I will skip it and now continue from here since I'm not going to be using this. So remember, her waist is 32. So in this case it's still the same, so that's fine. Sometimes it won't be the same, so we'll just go ahead and cut them. I'm taking it so you see how I'm cutting from the hem. Two inches, please. So we're done with the front piece, so I'm going to take this out and bring the back piece. So this is the back piece. I already did the same thing I did off camera with the front. Like, I made it so, you know, the front was 13, the width was 13 based on the hip measurement and extra 2 inches. So now this is 14.5, an extra 1.5 inch for zipper allowance, you know. So but it's same length, same thing with the hem. I will take out 1 inch for this hem part. So then I'll bring the front piece and place the front piece on top of the back piece. So I'll use the front to cut the back. Okay, before I do that, I will take out this 1 inch from the hem, so the two pieces will be the same length. Just quickly do that. So now I'm going to arrange the two pieces together. Before then, I'll measure and ensure that I have 1.5 allowance here for the zipper. So I'm just going to check that I have 1.5. So yes, this is 1.5. So I'm just going to place a chalk line, so even if this thing moves, I still know where. So I placed it all the way to the hem. Okay, so since the front and the back, they have the same shape based on the side, same, so I will just trim the back using the front by the side. I'll do that all the way to the hem. Trim stand all the way to the hem, so I'll trim it this way to be the same shape with the front all the way, just the side. So after that, let's now contour the bum area, the hip and the bum area, so it sits nicely. Okay, so we just mark out these lines, the hip line. This is not really necessary, but well, the tie line. From the hip line, we go down by 5 or 6 inches, but I'll just use 5.5. Let me just be in between, either 5 or between 5 and 6 inches. It shouldn't be lesser, especially if the person has, you know, a nice shape. So I'll take out 1 inch because my zipper allowance is supposed to be 1 inch. I just left 1.5 here for the bum part. So I'll connect this 1 inch from the waist to the 1.5 by the hip. Then I'll connect this to this 5.5 I went down by. Then I'll mark the slit length, the length of the slit, Okay. And since the long skirt, I'm using 21 inches. Should be okay. Uh, 21 inches. Okay, so that's fine. So I'll take reduce the allowance to 1 inch because that's what I want. I don't want it to be too long. So, and I'll stop at this slit line. So when I'm cutting, I'll cut like this. So from this point where I marked the, what's it called, the slit line, I will take out 1/2 inch. So my cutting connects to the 1/2 inch. Then I won't be needing any allowance here, and I'll cut all here to the waist. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna make this clear enough, the slit line, and also my darts. Let's fix our darts. So same thing, 4 inches, half, take out half from both sides. Go down by 5 inches. Just making sure I have a straight line there. So this also 4. Then I will and there you have it, the front piece and the back piece. So I'll go ahead and cut the same thing on the main fabric. I'll do that off camera and come back. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut it on the main fabric the same way it is, the same length, everything. There's the back piece, main fabric, and this is the front piece. Cut it to the same length, everything. Then I also notched the dart to make it easy to know where the dart is. Did it on the front and the back. Notch the zipper allowance part too.